Our Bible verses for this week come from Luke chapter 9, verses 23 and 24. Then he said to them all, "If anyone desires to come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. For whoever desires to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will save it." With those words, Jesus clearly indicated the high cost of following him. In his ministry, he attracted huge crowds, and they were really kind of a mixed group. You had, for example, the Pharisees and some of the religious leaders who were following, sort of embedded in the crowd so that they could catch him in his words and find a reason to do away with him. And then, of course, you had the devoted followers of Jesus who became the intimate group known as the apostles. You had many other disciples, that's a word that means learner, and they were at all points of learning. And then you had just the curious, the thrill seekers who wanted to see the miracles. And in this diverse crowd, there was just about everything you could imagine in terms of attitudes toward Jesus. But at the bottom of everything, our Lord knew that he sought from the crowd a true commitment to himself. And so he gave an invitation, as preachers do even today. He said, "If anyone desires to come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me." This was Jesus' invitation to the crowd to follow him. And the price, supreme. You want to come after me. You want to be a true disciple, a true follower. It's the end of you. That's what he said. You lose your life to gain it. And if you're not willing to do that, you're going to lose it in the end in eternal judgment. You know, we live in a day when it seems to me that the gospel has been made easy, maybe so easy that it's not the gospel anymore. The invitation has been made so easy that maybe it's not a legitimate invitation anymore. And maybe people think they're committing their lives to Christ when they're really not. Again, Jesus said, "If you want to come after me, deny yourself. It's the end of you, your dreams, your hopes, your ambitions, your goals." It's kind of self-suicide in a sense. In fact, Jesus actually said that if you want to come after me, you need to hate yourself. When Martin Luther put his 95 Theses on the door of the church at Wittenberg, the fourth one included the fact that if you're going to follow Christ, you have to engage in self-hate. That's a strange thing to say, isn't it? Because most of the gospel presentations that we hear today are about self-fulfillment. But the gospel is not about self-fulfillment. It's about self-denial. Just in the original language, the statement "deny himself" uses a verb that basically means to refuse to associate with. That just fascinates me. If you're going to come to Christ, you're coming because you refuse to any longer associate with the person that you are. What an amazing thought. You're sick of yourself and your sin, and with desperation, you willingly yield up that empty life which you no longer want to associate with. How extreme is this commitment? It involves taking up your cross daily. What does that mean? Well, a cross only meant one thing in the ancient world. In the time of Jesus, it meant a painful, horrible, excruciating, embarrassing, shameful death. Jesus was saying, if you want to follow me, it's the end of you, and not just your hopes and dreams. It may even be the end of your life. It may cost you your physical life. But the infinite value of following me is worth the high cost. Because if you do lose your life for my sake, you'll save it forever. Ask yourself if you're truly following Jesus in that way.